Welcome all. We'll start now. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvighnan Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryesu Sarvada Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nidhaye Sarva Vidyanam Chadeva Baroginam Gurave Sarva Lokanam Dakshina Murtaye Namaha Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Madayam Karunadayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Putra Bhashyakatav Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Yomavat Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha Appara Karuna Sindham Jnanadam Shantarupinam Vichandra Shekhara Gurum Pranamami Mudanmaham Om Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Sunmanti Nimye Stavaihi Vedai Sangha Padakramo Panishader Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyana-vasthita tadgatena manasa pashyanti yam yoginaha yasyantam na vidussura suraganaha devaya tasmai namaha Om Shri Krishnaya Paramatmane namaha Atha Srimad Bhagavad Gita Dvitiyodhyayaha Sankhya Yogaha Om Narayana Parom Vyaktat Handam Avyakta Sambhavam Andasyantasthi me lokaha saptadvipada medini. Om. Once again, G.V. Kumar and co, please remind your co-participants to switch on cameras. You can put that message in the chat box. You can keep on doing that. Thank you. Let us get to 100% camera on for 1 hour. I'll stop the class exactly on the hour. It is 8:30 India means it will be 11 a.m. in your US East Coast. We'll do that. Okay. Okay. Now let's all chant Sloka number 51 once, and then we'll go to 52 and 53. Okay. All look at the meeting note that was posted, so that you get into exactly what we are discussing in the class today. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Karma Jambuddhi Yukta hi Phalam Tyaktva Manishinaha Janma Bandha Vinirmuktaha Padam Gacchantya-namayam. Together, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Karma Jambuddhi Yukta hi Phalam Tyaktva Manishinaha Janma Bandha Vinirmuktaha Padam Gacchantya-namayam. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Camera on. Naveen Balwat. Yeah, madam. Okay, very good. Okay. Now, in this shloka number 51, while all the words are very important, there is one word that is extremely important. Because when Bhagavan says, every word has to be important. Correct? Guru Swami sir, correct? Bhagavan solra, even one word can it be unimportant? But in this shloka, one word is extremely important. You know what is that? Manishinaha. The word Manishinaha is the most important. That shows the transition of the Karma Yogi to a Gnana Yogi. Manishinaha means one who is completely firm in his conviction, his or her conviction, that Aham Brahmasmi. It's called Manishinaha. Okay. Now, what is the real issue? Real issue is when you are starting to do karma, you are looking for happiness from external factors. Then slowly you move to karma yoga, where you don't really get disturbed by the results of action. So you become karma yogi. And then when the mind is pure, you ask those philosophical questions about Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara. And then what happens? You go and study Vedanta Shastra, understand that the happiness you're looking elsewhere is actually your own true nature. That is Manishinaha. So far the mind was very heavy. Correct? Mind is extremely heavy. Ashantasya manobharaha, they say. Naveen Venkataraman says, mind is got a lot of problems. It's not at all at peace. Ashantasya, a mind that has no peace inside is extremely heavy. Correct? Is it right? Now, whenever you are not peaceful, it is not that a big load of 100 kgs is there on the head, but you feel that my head is so heavy. You say that, no? Because of what? Ashanti. So it is a saying in Sanskrit. Write down. Ashantasya manobharaha. For a person who doesn't have peace of mind, the mind is heavy, not confusion. No peace of mind. So when mind is not peaceful, it is very heavy. So what is the solution? How to convert a heavy mind to a light mind? Udayji Suprabhatam. LIGHT, light. A heavy mind can be converted easily to a light mind by giving the light of knowledge. Give the light of knowledge. English is very useful here. When you Gnana Deepena Bhasvata, when you give the light of knowledge to this heavy mind, it becomes extremely light. What is the weight of light? Can anybody say what is the weight of light? Anybody here? Can you say what is it? How heavy is light? So beauty, the word light itself is a very nice word. See, light itself means not heavy, and light also, when you see, there's no weight to light. Correct? So when you give the light of knowledge to the heavy mind, it becomes light and peaceful and calm and efficient and extremely energetic. Let me tell you, the only way to be always energetic is to keep the mind very light, and that light can happen by the light of knowledge. Got it now? Kiran Goparaju, you can use English sometimes. Sometimes English helps for Vedanta, not all times. This here is a nice thing, okay? Light of knowledge will make your mind light. So now Bhagavan has told in Sloka number 51 the overall process. Yes, actually, crossed a lot of steps. Suddenly, is it Karma Yogi, become Gnana Yogi. How the person becomes is going to be told in 52 and 53. We will chant. Now, madam. Sloka number 52. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Yeda te moha kalilam buddhir vyatita rishyati tada gantasi nirvedam shrotam yasya shrutasya cha.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha Yada te moha kalilam buddhir vyatitarishyati tada gantasi nirvedam shrotavyasya shrutasya cha.
Together all of us. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Yada te moha kalilam buddhir vyatitarishyati tada gantasi nirvedam shrotam yasya shrutasya cha. Can you remove the focus now? You have to be who is coordinating today. Please be sharp. Okay. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So what is Bhagavan saying here? Bhagavan is now explaining the process of how a karma yogi becomes a Gnana yogi. So from karma to karma yoga to Gnana is one step. That is step number 1 told in Sloka number 52. Write down. Sloka number 52 says how the person will move from karma yoga to Gnana yoga. The Gnana yoga, he or she starts the process. Then Sloka number 53 will say how the person goes from Gnana yoga to moksha. The ultimate goal is moksha through Gnana yoga. And only by Jnanam you can get moksha. Please write down in bold letters, underline, whatever, and highlight, do everything possible. Only by Jnanam you can get moksham. Gnana devata 𝐈𝐦𝐻𝐨𝐫𝐭𝐚𝐬𝐴. There is no other way to get Jnanam. What is the Veda mantra I keep repeating? Tamevam vidvan amritaha iha bhavati Nanyah pantha ayanaya vidyate. Nanyah pantha vidyate yanaya. We all keep chanting this mantra. Purusha Suktam we have chanted maybe 100, 200 times. What is the meaning? Anyaha panthana vidyate. There is no other way other than tamevam vidvan. Tam evam vidvan amritaha iha bhavati. That supreme principle I am. That is the only way. Knowing that is the only way to become amritaha. Means what? Immortal. Immortal means moksham here and now. Please understand, no other way. If somebody says doing only chanting some name will get moksham, by doing dhyanam or yoga, you get moksham. No chance. Please understand that. Now, what is Bhagavan saying? Now, this person has already become very good karma yogi, expert karma yogi. And somebody should write what are the 4 or 5 principles of karma yogi, I told. What really epitomizes the karma yogi? Yoga karma sukoshalam samattam yoga uchyate. Vyavasayatmika buddhihi. Istre gunyo bhava Arjuna. It will be there, active in the mind. So all those things, the karma yogi is already proficient and efficient. Now what happens? Now the intellect of this karma yogi starts working. The intellect starts working because the mind is pure. It searches for the right answers and the person goes beyond the mist of delusion. So far the mind was deluded. I'll explain what is the delusion. First understand the overall meaning. So the person has got a lot of delusion. About delusion means what? Thinking that something, this will give me happiness, that will give me happiness, it will give me peace of mind. External dependency will give me peace of mind. External factors are responsible for my happiness. That is the biggest delusion that we all have. Rajasaga, not attachments. Follow the lesson here. It is intellect. External dependency, my happiness depends on external factors, is the delusion that we have. So we keep on working our way to make the external environment favorable to us. And whatever adjustment you do, it doesn't adjust. Okay, so that is the biggest delusion. This person now understands that by finite effort, infinite bliss cannot be obtained. And so this person starts looking at the same Vedas, same Karma Kanda that was telling him, do this, do that. No, do Ashwamedha Yagam, do Jyotisthomam, do Mrityunjaya Homam, do Putraka Meshti Yagam. It was telling all those things. He looks at this and says, well, I know the limitation of Karma Kanda of Vedas. I know the limitation. This person is now saying that. And says that this is something I did for a period of time and I also did it correctly. I got Chitta Shuddhi. Now I know that I can be totally dispassionate with respect to what the Karma Kanda of the Vedas are saying. That means what? Earlier I was very passionate, want to do karma, get punyam, get happiness. That cycle I was running. Now I'm going to say, I'm going to break the cycle and I'm going to move towards that path which is going to give me eternal happiness. So I will move from Karma Kanda to Gnana Kanda is what the decision the person makes. So there are certain things the person has heard till now. And so what happens? Tell me, all of you, whenever you had some problem, either you try to solve by your own intellect or you consult somebody, right? Some Jyotish, some elderly person, what puja I should do, what is the japam, something you do that, no? Especially Vastu. You go and see Vastu, right? You do that, right? That means what? They will keep on telling something, you do this, do that, because their solution is what? They are not going to say that you have to change. They will say other things should change around you. You make something, you do something. Very easy. You try that. But you also know that is a limitation. You tell me, out of 100 efforts, how many have succeeded? Let this be interactive. I'm sure you'll not try, no? Some kind of puja, japa, dhyana, homa, tirtha yatra, that, no? Pariharam. As everything succeeded 100%, you will definitely, I mean, if 50% succeeded, I'll be very happy. Somebody can put a ratio, what, no, you're saying percentage what? 10%, 15% will succeed. Okay. There is value in that. If you do correctly, you'll succeed, but that's a different matter. So, a person who is still in delusion, will say, I did 30 things, didn't work. Let me go for the 31st one. What is yet to be heard? I have heard so many things, I have tried. So let me go and hear some more new things and try some more new things and see whether it works. So there are two aspects. One, I have already heard and I am trying, which is partially working. To make it fully work, I'll go and hear some more things and try to make it happen. This person will say, no, 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 no. Enough. I've heard enough. I've tried enough. It's got its limitations. It is good to some extent. I am not going to go and start trying to understand more of karma, upasana, what to do. But I will break free from the karma, upasana cycle to go to jnanam. Because I told you in the last class, you remember, this karma, upasana is called as sadhana sadhya vivekam. Do something, get some result. Do something, get some result. And that will never be permanent, never be infinite. It's temporary. It is not something that will be complete. It will still be incomplete. So if you want purnatvam or completeness, you have to come to jnanam. You know why? Because it is knowing something that is already complete. So you are not going to manufacture completeness. You are not going to create completeness. You are going to understand that you are of the nature of completeness. Sundar Mama, na India going to tell you, where are you? Put in the chat box. Okay. So, you come back. Very good. I want to know good evening, good morning. Okay, very good. So here it is not doing something. It is understanding. Like in the morning, Subbaram sir, class morning Subbaram sir told very nicely. Wonderfully explained. I like this speech. I would have allowed him more time to speak. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough time. He was putting his experience so wonderfully, saying that our Vedanta is saying that I am of the nature of completeness. I am of the nature of bliss. I am breathing Brahman. Use the word. I am breathing Brahman every day. But I am not able to understand it. I am not able to catch it. And once you know that this is what I need to dedicate myself to understand, that I am Brahman, I should know that. And it's so easy for me to say, right, Udayji or Guru Swamiji, I can say you are Brahman. Will you agree and accept and say, Aham Brahmasmi? Will you say that? It is not so easy. It is a huge process. There are 3 levels. Write down. When you go through the process of Vedanta, they say this Ajnanam or ignorance is at 3 levels. What are the 3 levels of ignorance? The first level is called Gnana Avabodham. That means what? I do not know something called pure consciousness, Brahma Tattvam, Atma Tattvam is there. So I don't know Avabodham. So Gnana Anavabodham we say. Gnana Avabodham means getting the Jnanam. Gnana Anavabodham means what? I do not know that there is something called as Atman or Brahman. That I have to get Jnanam to know the Atman. Anavabodham means what? I am not able to know. It is like, no, I don't know what I don't know. You know the 4 levels of knowledge, right? First level is I don't know what I don't know. Second level is I know what I don't know. Third level is I seemingly know what I know. The 4th level is I'm established in knowledge. Similar to your corporate knowledge, even in Vedanta, it says the first level is I don't know that I'm Atman, Jnana Anavabodham. Second level is called, after introduced to Vedanta, after 2-3 years, Subramanian sir, I'm going to tell you what will happen to you. After 2-3-4 years studying Vedanta, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, Viveka Chudamani and all, you will then start getting confusion. Sir, this Vedanta is saying, this teacher is saying that I am Atman, and Atman is nature of pure happiness. But every day I'm not able to be in that state. I am miserable. I'm having so many problems. That unhappiness is not going away. That is called Samshaya Buddhi. Second problem in Vedanta is that Samshaya. So, Samshaya Jnanam. So, first is Gnana Anavabodham. Second is Samshaya Jnanam. Then what you do Mananam. So, please understand. For removing Gnana Anavabodham, that means what? Not knowing about the self, you have to sit down and study Vedanta. So what is to do? Shravanam. If you do Shravanam, people keep on saying from morning to night, especially during the Chaturmasyam, the routine actually is before lunch. That means what? From morning 5:30 after Sandhya Vandanam, till 1 o'clock, Upanishad and Brahma Sutra Bhashyam. I'll tell you, this is how the Vedanta camp happens. And after lunch, after 2 o'clock, no sleeping. Bhagavad Gita Bhashyam, because Gita is one level lower. It is Smriti Prasthanam. That is Shruti. So after that, Shruti. Then Shruti and Nyayam in the morning, then you read again. Then night, you go back and clarify all the questions. That will keep on doing. So you do mananam. Mananam means what? You raise questions and answer. That will remove your samshayam. Na GNVR. Second is called samshaya nivrittihi. Ajnana nivrittihi. Or Gnana Anavabodha Nivrittihi, then Samshaya Nivrittihi. Then you'll say, all doubts are cleared. No, Bhidyate Hridaya Granthihi. Paji, all doubts are, you think like that. But after 7, 8 years, I'll tell you, after 8, 9, 10 years, one day you'll get up in the morning, with a very bad headache, backache, all the problems, some news you would not have expected will happen. Then immediately you go back to the old vasana you had. Initially you thought, no, I am not Brahman. Brahman is somewhere. Brahman is Vaikuntha, Kailasam. Then what will happen? Then suddenly, this kind of news comes in. When you get up, whatever, that particular situation, you will have what is called as Viparita Bhavana. Viparita Buddhi means what? Some old instinctive that has been vasana means what? That has been within you. That will not be removed so easily. Are you getting the point? In spite of removing the ignorance, in spite of removing doubts, the last stage is removing something that is called Viparita means what? In spite of anything you say, at the last 1% stage, you will not accept that I am Brahmasmi. I am Brahmasmi. For that to be removed, you have to do Nididhyasanam. So write down. Shravana Manana Nididhyasanam. For removing Ajnanam or Anavabodham, Samshaya Jnanam and Viparita Jnanam or Viparjaya Jnanam, this is Vedanta process. Then what happens? Then when you remove these three, then you get Paripurna Jnanam. So that is what you start after understanding that the external world, external actions cannot give you permanent results. Let's go through the Padavibhaga. Yada te moha kalilam buddhihi vyatita rishyati tada gantasi nirvedam shrotam yasya rutasya cha. Anvaya. Yada te buddhihi vyatita rishyati moha kalilam tada gantasi nirvedam shrotam yasya shrutasya cha. It's a very complex and deep sloka. I'm going to rush. People who got doubts can come back to me later. We got to cover the subject. Okay. Now, yada, when? That means what? The karma yogi is now moving from karma yoga to Gnana Yoga. So all of you, please take some time. Go to the website www.brahmavidyafoundation.org. Have you been there? Anybody gone to the website? Yes or no? Type in the chat box. The home page, there is one video. There is one small video for just 3.5 minutes. You have purposely made it 3.5 minutes because your attention span is about that particular number, correct? Beyond 3.5 minutes, you don't have any attention to anything. Please click that video and see it not once, but at least 16 times. Why 16 times? 16 principles are mentioned for dependent happiness. 16 principles are mentioned for independent happiness. Yes or no? Anybody has seen it? The very fact that I'm not getting answer means you have not seen it carefully. So at least after this class, whenever you find time after lunch or whatever, you go and see. It's also got a wonderful music at the background. The music has been courtesy Lataji's son. He's a musician, I think. He's doing a wonderful music for that. Very nice. So listen, see that. Talks about the dependent happiness, how to first be happy, depending on external factors. That is what we are all doing today. Balastavat krida saktaha, tarunastavat taruni saktaha, vruddhastavat chinta saktaha, parame brahmani kopi na saktaha. That is the stage we are. So then what you do? Enter karma yoga. then you do all these activities properly, 16 step, then you are ready. As we say in that, from karma to karma yoga, from confusion to clarity, right? From a consumer to a contributor is a problem. Once we say contributor, people have got problem. So consumer to contributor. And once this is done well, then you are ready for independent happiness, where it is purely jnanam, jnanam, jnanam. In the second slide, is there any action? The second slide, tell me somebody, is there any action? You are saying only sit and study, study, study. Shruti, no, Smriti, Nyaya Prasthana, study, study and get that knowledge. So this person goes to that level. So what happens? Yada, when te buddhihi, that is important. Now you are starting to use your intellect. No longer you are emotional. No longer you start getting emotionally looking at issues, right? When there's a problem, you can look at issues emotionally and intellectually. Correct? Somoji, Suprabhatam. And something happens, no? You can get very emotional. You cry and all those things you can do. You can also look at it from a very intellectual standpoint. There is a reason this happened. So what is the next step? What should they do? How to solve the problem? Correct? So you start looking at it with the help of Dharma Shastram or Gnana Shastram. Look at it intellectually. Te buddhihi. What does the buddhi do? Vyatitarishyati. The beautiful word. Tarishyati, atitarishyati, vyatitarishyati, visheshena atitarishyati. Very well goes beyond what? Moha kalilam. Moha kalilam, the mist of delusion. See, in the morning, especially in Delhi, I don't know how many others from North India here, I've had some experience. During winter season, for 1 kilometer, you cannot see anything. All flights will get cancelled. In Gurgaon, in Delhi and all. I'm not sure it happens in US. Mist, very misty weather. Nothing can be seen. Similarly, when you are doing only karma, you really don't know what is permanent happiness. What is this so-called moksha? What is this delusion we are talking about? See, you go and ask anybody. Take a sample. After this class, sometime during the weekend, ask your friends who are also very religious. Have you heard the word moksha, moksha? What do you think? Who can get moksha? You know what they'll say? Sir, moksha and all is only for sannyasis, sir. No, they have to go to the forest, they have to grow a big beard, they should sit like this, do tapas and all. For us, moksha we can't get. That's what, yes, correct or no? You please go and ask somebody. Or in fact, many of you would have been, no, even if I ask a question here, you will be answering the same question to me, yes or no? Correct? Huh? How many of you believe that you all can get moksha? Being grihasthas also. Can anybody believe? So the definition of eternal happiness, which is otherwise called as moksha, here and now, is itself a mist. It's itself a mirage. We are not able to have clarity. So this person will now cross over the delusion, have a firm conviction that here is a shastram called Moksha Shastram Bhagavad Gita, which is going to teach me how I can be eternally happy by understanding my true nature, which is eternal bliss. So they will say, sir, this person has become very spiritual because he had love failure in life. So he got very disappointed in life, so he took the sannyasam. They'll say, or something happened in life which is disastrous, so he gave up all the worldly life. He doesn't, got disappointment, so he's gone to another path. It is not that way. Please understand. A person is very positive. Person will go towards that goal with positivity, not with something negativity. And so, initially, this confusion about this eternal happiness or moksham, now clarity comes. How does the clarity come? By becoming a good karma yogi. By being very good karma yogi, by being a contributor, by doing all your karma properly with what? Right action plus right attitude. And what we said, don't focus only on results. Results will happen. All those things. Sukha dukkhe same kritva. All those things you do. Then what happens? Your mind will start having glimpse of that reality, and you start dedicating yourself towards understanding that reality, and your priority now becomes what? Dharma and moksha, not artha and kama. You know what is dharma? Righteousness. Moksha is eternal bliss. And artha kama means what? Only wealth and pleasure don't become your orientation. They are incidental. Please write down. Doesn't mean they become zero. Artha kama becomes incidental. Dharma moksha becomes the real goal and important. Incidental, important. Write down these two. Incidental and important. And so the mist of delusion goes beyond, means what? He crosses over, he or she crosses over the mist of delusion. Then what happens? Tada, then, that means what? The person has entered Vedanta, hall of Vedanta, to sit down and study Vedanta Shastras. The person will attain. Bhagavan is saying, you will attain. To Arjuna, I am making it general. This person will attain what is called as Nirvedam. Very important word in Vedanta. Nirvedam means dispassion. No urge to know many more things about how to make happiness from worldly action. Nirvedam. You will develop some detachment or dispassion towards what? Shrotam Vyasya. Shrotam Vyasya means what has been heard till now. You've been hearing from all the people, do that, do this, do that, do this. For happiness, you do that, for this you do. That, you know, has got its limitation. So no longer you're going to depend on what has been heard till now for eternal happiness, nor will you start searching for new tools and techniques and methodology. Somebody will manufacture something. Nah, that technology, this technology. No, they will know all, they'll bemuse you. This person cannot be bemused by anybody. The person who bemuses may have a very long beard, may have many different Vesha Bhushanam. You will not get unnecessarily confused. Shastras will be your path to get the Jnanam and ultimate eternal bliss. So either to things you heard till now, nor towards things that are yet to be heard, you will develop dispassion. It means what? Urge to know that. Sir, what are they saying, sir? How did that person become happy? What did he do? Where did he go? You ask, no? Again, Solran, he'll come and tell the story. Somebody will come and tell stories. Sir, I was a lot of problems I had. I went and did this. I got happy. Then you will start trying that. This person will not get into the loop. He knows even that is temporary. That is going to be temporary. Everything is temporary. Brahman is only permanent. The person will go towards Atma Jnanam. Do you understand? May not know the full thing completely, but the mind starts getting mature towards removing confusion and following the path of Vedanta Jnanam. The word Nirvedam comes in also Upanishad. Write down this mantra. Pariksha lokan karmachitan brahmanaha nirvedamayan naste kritah kritena. Write down. Tad vijnanartham sa gurumeva bhigachet samitpani shrotriyam brahmanishtham. Nirvedamayan. For this, Acharya is to a 3-4 page bhashya. We don't have time. But the person starts getting dispassionate towards the karma kanda, upasana kanda, goes towards jnana kanda. And at least 4 people say you understood what at least the gist of the message was. Slightly difficult. It's very complex. Entire Vedanta packed into this. Na, Ken, Purnjada? Na, Lata Ganesh got an idea. Okay. Struggling to say yes here. Okay, fine. So this is the path. It's not easy. You have to be convinced. Okay, let me give you another story. So that story will convince you. Sometimes, dry logic won't convince you. You all know Narada, right? All of you know Narada or not? The greatest joker of our Puranas, right? He will not only create jokes, he will create a lot of comedy. Narada, right? This Narada was well versed in all the Shastras, 4 Vedas, 6 Vedanga, 64 different Kala. Whatever art forms, everything he knows. But this, and also what? He's got any responsibility like any of us? He is what? Nitya Brahmachari, correct? Naishtika Brahmachari, no wife to every day say, get me this saree, this gold ornament, So you are not loving me. Daily சொல்லணும் அமெரிக்கால I love you சொல்லணும். என்ன ப்ராப்ளம் வந்து அதெல்லாம் ப்ராப்ளம் கிடையாது நாரதருக்கு. So no wife, no children, no car, no bungalow. And what? Permanent entry to Vaikuntham. Anytime you can go to Narayana and say Narayana, Narayana. Correct? Sakshat Sriman Narayana will give without visa, without ticket, you can go to Vaikuntha Loka. Then he can also go and do Kalaham Motla. He will go and create some confusion. If he wants to have fun, he will create some confusion. Again, Kalviya Selvama Virama. He create Durga Lakshmi create confusion. And then he watch the fun. All that he will do. This Narada also had a deep sorrow in his mind. Please understand, this Narada, a deep sorrow in his mind. His sorrow was not totally erased. Something was bothering this Narada. And so this Narada actually goes to Sanat Kumara, a great Brahmarishi. I'm not telling this my own story. Go to Chandogya Upanishad. The Upanishad called Guru Arpasa Suprabhatam. Samavedathla Chandogya Upanishad இருக்கு. அதுல வந்து Bhamavidyaன்னு ஒரு செக்ஷன் இருக்கு. கரெக்ட் மீனாட்சி மேடம். Bhamavidyaன்னு ஒரு செக்ஷன் இருக்கு. அதுல வந்து Narada goes to Sanat Kumara and says this sentence that what? The person like me, I am that person who knows everything. I am having deep sorrow. I am having deep sorrow. He's not a normal person. He is well versed in Shastras, in a GNVR. கீதையெல்லாம் கரைச்சி குடிச்சிருக்காரு. கீதை பைஹார்ட்டா தெரியும், வேத மந்திரம் தெரியும். But is no Shabda Jnanam. He knows only the Shabda Jnanam, but he does not know the meaning of the Vedanta mantras, Upanishad mantras. So he says to the Sanat Kumara, he says, Tarati Shoka Mahatmavit. I have heard from great people, same Tarati is coming here. The person crosses over the ocean of sorrow by only knowing the Atman. Write down this wonderful mantra there. Soham Bhagavashocha Maha. Aha, what a wonderful sentence. Saha Aham. Hey Bhagavaha Shocha Maha. Saha Aham. What Saham? What? I am not a normal person. I know everything. I know all the 4 Vedas, 6 Vedangas, 64 Shastras, Kala, art, everything I know. But I know only Shabda Jnanam, but I don't know the real meaning of what the Vedanta is saying. Write down Saha Aham. Saha Aham. Tamil Apperpatta Nan. I know all those things. Even though I know all the Vedas, Karma Kanda, everything properly. Shocha Maha. See, I am miserable. And he goes and prostrates Sanat Kumara. Sanat Kumara is supposed to be an avatar of Subramanya Swami, Jnana Pandita. So he does namaskara and asks this question. And then wonderful Vidya happens from there. Brahmavidya, Bhamavidya gets transferred from Sanat Kumara to Narada. Narada gets the knowledge. What is the moral of the story? We all tell small children some story and say, story solluva. My dear, what is the moral of the story? What is the moral of the story, Kiran Goparajo? Only by Jnanam, your sorrow can be totally erased. No other way to erase all your problems. Gnana devat kaivalyam. Write down Subhashita for this. I'll give Subhashita. I'll give Upanishad mantra, Bhagavad Gita Sloka. Write down Subhashita. Sukham me sarvada bhuyat. Dukkham abhut kadachana. Gita Ch sarvasamanye te gnana siddhyataha. Everybody wants happiness. And what? Sarvada sukham, always happiness. Dukkham abhut kadachana. Little bit of sorrow also I don't want. Gita Ch sarvasamanye. Everybody wants this. Te, both of this, permanent happiness, no sorrow in between, can happen only by jnanam. Te gnana siddhyataha. Another Manusmriti Vakyam you note down. Sarvam paravasham dukkham. Sarvam atmavasham sukham. Ityetat samasena lakshanam sukha dukkhayoho. Sarvam paravasham dukkham. Anything that is dependent on external factors, paravasham. If my happiness is dependent on what? My car, my bungalow, my money, my position, my health, my whatever relationship, I love you, whatever that. If your happiness depends on that, sarvam paravasham dukkham. Paravasham means that is totally encapsulated by external factors. That will always lead to dukkham, unhappiness. Sarvam atmavasham sukham. Swatah siddha tattvam. You are that supreme happiness. When you are established in that, atmavasham sukham. Depend on your own, as we say, from world dependent, go to God dependent, to self dependent. Self doesn't mean the body here. Self doesn't mean mind. Self doesn't mean intellect. Self means Atma Tattvam. You should know the Atman. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. Brihadaranyaka mantra, write down. So many are there like that. So only the knowledge of Atman can give you permanent happiness and permanent joy, because it is of the nature of Purnatvam. Clear? Now, so even the great Narada had to go to get Atma Jnanam. So what we should do? We should also go get Atma Jnanam. And if you are slightly confused, is it possible or not? Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, there is a mantra which says very clearly that unless a person, whether he is a human being or a Deva or a Rishi or a Gandharva or anybody, Aham Brahmasmi, unless the person knows Aham Brahmasmi, person cannot go over this sorrow. When you are all available, your mind is available, time is available, I will take Brihadaranyaka Upanishad and explain that in detail, but for now understand this lot of pramanam to clearly establish the fact that only Jnanam can give you permanent happiness. So this person now has this full clarity. It is not like, he is very clear. Only one direction. And so he goes toward Jnana Margam. So like all of sitting, studying Bhagavad Gita, no? You study Gita, study Upanishad, study Brahma Sutram, complete the course, whatever it takes, and get the Jnanam. Now, next sloka. Sri Bhagavanu Vacha Shruti Vipratipannate Yada Sthasyati Nischala Samadhavachala Buddhi Tada Yogam Avapsyasi.
Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Shruti Vipratipannate Yada Sthasyati Nischala Samadhavachala Buddhi Tada Yogam Avapsyasi.
Beautiful. Let's chant together. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Shruti Vipratipannate Yada Sthasyati Nischala Samadhavachala Buddhi Tada Yogam Avapsyasi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So, Bhagavan says here, Tada Yogam Avapsyasi. Here, Yogam. Yogam doesn't mean Karma Yoga. It doesn't mean your Bhakti Yoga. Acharya Shankara says, this is a beautiful term. Ram Subbo. Paramartha Yoga. When you've got a Shankara Bhashya book, you go open it and see. As great as Adi Shankara, he always gets you the Jnanam angle. Yoga Jnana, he'll make it Jnanam. Paramartha Yoga, like our Swamiji Paramartha Ananda, Paramartha Yoga. So he says, Tada Yogam Avapsyasi. Then only that person will establish himself or herself in that supreme yoga called Paramartha Yoga. Let us understand the sloka now. So the person has started the Gnana Margam, and initially he was very confused, listening to karma and upasana. Bhagavan says to Arjuna, when your intellect, which is so far confused about what is the path to eternal happiness, should it be dependent or is it independent? As we put it in the website, please go and see it again and again. It's very well composed. Essence of all Vedic knowledge is there in 2 slides. Very rarely you will get it. Okay. So far it is confused. We're listening to so many various means and ends. So do this, you will probably be happy. Sadhana sadhyam. Sadhana sadhyam. Then this person knows that is not the way out of the samsara chakra. The way out is knowing what is already established. Swatah siddha atma tattvam. I am that supreme Brahma tattvam. When that mind abides in the Atman. Concentration of mind is now on Atman, not on external factors. What should I do today? Should I do that? Should I do this business? Should I go to that job? I told you, no? There's one phase, Bala Natarajan told you, policeman also became software engineer. You change the job quickly. What job should I take? That, what do I do to become happy? So this person will not be confused. So Atma Jnanam is the goal. And what? This particular path, the determination is without any doubt. No doubt. And also it is got no error. Error-free, doubtless. No samshaya jnanam. No viparita jnanam. That's what I told in the previous sloka. So person has already started hearing. Shravanam has started. Atma-tattam Shravanam has started. Nitya anitya vastu vivekaha. What is satyam, satyamithya vivekaha. All that he started listening. What is permanent, what is impermanent. What is truth, what is false. What is real, what is unreal. The person is able to discriminate. It's called viveka shakti. Write down. Person develops the attitude of discrimination. So long you are depending on other people to tell you what to do. Now you will start analysis. Is this permanent? Is this impermanent? Why is this like this? You start questioning, and so you will remove both the doubts and also your Parita Bhavana. And then what? Once you are beyond doubt and beyond error, error-free, doubtless, that knowledge, you will then attain that Paramartha Yoga. That means what? You'll be established in Jnanam, supreme happiness, Sukham Akshayam Ashnute, Bhagavan says. Now the Padavibhaga. Sir, is it really told like that? Yes, we'll see. Shruti Vipratipanna te yada sthasyati nischala samadhau. For the serious student, samadhau came somewhere else. Before I complete sloka, let us see whether you can go and fetch that samadhau. Samadhau achala buddhihi tada yogam avapsyasi. Did somebody find samadhau? Samadhau na vidhiyate vyavasayatmika buddhihi samadhau na vidhiyam. Madam, you know that. Right? So when I ask in between, it's difficult for you to bhogaishwarya prasaktanam ayapahrita chetasam vyavasayatmika buddhihi samadhau na vidhiyam. Should get it. See, Guru sir, Acharya, when they ask question, they won't ask in a direct way. Veera Shaktimatam Seshto Dharmo Dharma Muktaha Enga Ramo Viramo Virajo Pidikin on the page. The very middle they will ask the question. So that's why Samadho is important. Samadho means what? We'll understand the shloka now. Anvaya. Yada. See, once again, when. See, even in the previous shloka, Yada was there. Be very, very, focused. Previous shloka also, Yada te moha kalilam. Here also, Yada. In Anvaya, it becomes, I'll learn Anvaya first properly for our Padavibhaga team. Yada te buddhihi shruti vipratipanna sthasyati samadhau achala nischala tada avapsyasi yogam. No, Lata madam, okay, yeah. Madam, you're able to do the Anvaya properly? Or you want me to repeat again? Should I do again? Okay, I will do again. Okay, please, slowly now. Yada te buddhihi vyatita rishyati moha kalilam tada gantasi nirvedam. No, sorry, this is the previous sloka. Now this sloka you should do, correct? Okay, yada te buddhihi shruti vipratipanna sthasyati samadhau achala buddhihi samadhau achala nischala tada avapsyasi yogam. I repeat again. Yada te buddhihi shruti vipratipanna sthasyati samadhau achala nischala tada avapsyasi yogam. Yogam here is what? Paramartha Yoga. Clear? You got the thing? Okay, fine. Now, Yada. Because I was seeing Yada, no? Yada was there in the previous sloka also. That's the reason I repeated the previous Anvaya. Yada. Yada is first one, okay? Yada. Yada means what? When. In Sanskrit, Yada, Tada. Yadvat, Tadvat. You come like, okay? Yaha, Saha. Pairs. Ravi and G. Sanskrit, okay? Yada, when. Te buddhihi. Your intellect. Once again, you see. There also Yada te buddhihi. Here also Yada te buddhihi. Can you see the same thing repeated? That's why I like these two slokas very much. My favorite sloka in second chapter. See, in the previous sloka also, Yada te buddhihi was the first Anvaya. Yes or no? Who has done Anvaya? Ramesh Venkatesan Paningala Anvayam. Previous sloka 3 mandi Yada te buddhihi madala varudhu. Ingyo Yada te buddhihi. That means what? Bhagavan is saying again and again, use your intellect. Nah. Saugandhi is reason, madam. Intellect use pannun sonnalum we become emotional. All you should get emotionally, emotional. Emotion agadingo. Bhagavan solrar. Okay. Yada te buddhihi. When your intellect Shruti vipratipanna. Very complex word. Shruti plus vipratipanna. Pratipanna, vipratipanna, Shruti vipratipanna. Which is now confused by listening to various Shruti Vakyam, Karma Kanda Vakyam, Sadhana Sadhyam. I told you, do this, get result. Your mind is confused. I told you, Ida Pananama, Ada Pananama. Which Homa to do, which Yaga, Kumar Jivi. Correct? One Jyotish will say, go to your Kuladevam. Another Jyotish will say, go to your Ishtadevam. Ishtadevam, Kuladevam, where are they now? Ishtadevam in the South India, Kanyakumari. Kuladevam, North India, Kashmir. You are somewhere in Madhya Pradesh. What will you do? So please understand, when you start understanding that those are only temporary. You remember the formula I gave? Karma Kanda is like Alopathy. Upasana is like what? Chetan Sharma. Upasana is like Ayurveda. Jnanam is like immunity. But don't take the present immunity, Dr. Rangarajan. They say when you get the booster dose, also they get coronavirus. Then a news on the correct? So don't exactly compare. Sir, in our coronavirus, you get booster also, you're getting corona again. Later, if you get Jnanam, you'll get Moham again. No. When you get Jnanam, no way you'll go back to Moham. Jnanam is far, far ahead of your booster dose. Biggest booster. So he or she knows that I'm no longer going to be confused by these various means and ends. Do something, get something. And what? Sthasyati. Sthasyati means abides. Tishtati. It is existing firmly. Abides. Rests in what? Samadhau. Samadhau means the concentration of the mind in the Atman. The mind. So what is Samadhi? As per Yoga Shastram. Samadhi in Yoga Shastram is when the mind doesn't waver even a bit. Not even a single thought wave will be going in a different direction. That is called Samadhi. Samadho means in Samadhi. Saptami. Samadho. In the Atma. Here what? The Atma Tattvam can have no variation. Right? How does Samadho becomes in Atman? Atman has no variation. Everything else, matter principles got variation. Atman has no variation, the same everywhere. So Samadho, Acharya Shankara says very clearly, is the Atman. The concentrated mind now rests in the Atman. And how does it rest? Achala. Achala means what? It cannot be shaken. The mind will not be shaken. Tam Brahmasmi Jnanam is continuously there. I told you, example I given. What is the example I gave earlier? In a Carnatic music kacheri, what happens at the background? Shruti, sa, pa, sa, but then the ragam changes, alapana changes, chittasuram changes, everything changes, but that will not change. Similarly, I will be established in Aham Brahmasmi, sa, pa, sa, Aham Brahmasmi, tat tvamasi. Adu una irukku parunga. Adukku Shruti ne peru. Adu Vedanta. Inna Ramesh Venkatesan is a connoisseur of music. Correct? Music lot of connection is there. Okay, so similar to that, at the background, I know Aham Brahmasmi. So there is no room for error. That means what? Sir, I may be Brahma, but maybe not Brahman also. Morning I am Brahman, Saturday, Sunday I am Brahman, come Monday, I am not Brahman. Monday to Friday, problem. So thank God it's Friday. They say, no? 𝐈𝐸𝐻𝐸𝐫𝐭𝐚𝐬𝐴, Bangalore Bartirala, in the restaurant is there. Old airport only. Thank God it's Friday. It's called TGIF. Why they keep TGIF? Because Monday to Friday, problem. Then Friday, you let your hair down, go for a party. Correct? Hair down. Okay. So you try to so-called recover during the weekend, but whatever you recover in the party, after blues of the party will come on Monday morning. You have to move yourself. I had to go to office now. Boss is waiting. Boss also would have another party. All problems will be there. So you got to start fighting again. Right? Where is it going to end? Never going to end. By having a party, you think the problem will be solved? Not be solved. So this person knows, Achala. It's not like only I'm happy on a weekend. I'm happy even if there is a dire circumstance in front of me. I may be suddenly going for a diagnosis. They say you are suffering from a dreaded disease. Aham Brahmasmi. No problem. Right? That is the state of this person has got. Without doubt, no error. Second, Nischala. So, Achala means without any doubt, without samshaya jnanam. Nischala means what? No viparita jnanam. That means what? Old habits die hard. They say, no? They say, yes or no, Madhupriya? They say in English, old habits die hard. In Kannada, they say, Huttida guna sutru hogodilla. Mamta Patil, correct? Huttida guna sutru hogodilla. In Tamil, what do you say? That whatever is born with you will not go easily. Whatever, what is born with you will not go even if you burn the body. Like, there is one unfortunate vegetable called garlic. You all know that? You keep on cooking, we don't do, but I'm telling you, keep on cooking garlic in a vessel. Even after 5 years, that smell of that garlic will not go from that vessel. Do you know that? Somebody should say that, correct? Tottil Padakam, Sudugadu Varai, correct? Sudugadu Varai na potriki. Numbers long, Sudugadu Pona Pura Pagadi. Sutru Hogodilla. Okay, anyway, you know that? That is called Vasana. That particular thing, Ramakrishna says that if you want to get rid of the smell, you throw that utensil in the fire. Then only the smell will go from that utensil, vessel. Okay, so like that, our Viparita Bhavana is there. In spite of studying Shravana, Manana, we'll still feel, sir, no, sir. See, whatever I'm trying is not working in the world. If I'm Brahman, everything should work properly. We'll start putting all these questions again. I'm Jnani, I'm Brahmasmi. Brahman means what? Bhagavan. Bhagavan means everything should happen correctly. Whatever I'm trying is not successful, so I'm not Brahman. This is my argument. Now, whatever I think should happen, I will keep thinking all these things, right? So, Viparita Bhavana means what? Opposite thought. That also is removed. Nischala Buddhi. So, Tada, then. So, what is 1, 2, right now? 1, 2, 3, 4. First is through the intellect, the person is no longer confused. Write down the steps. Very systematic study. This person is no longer confused by the karma kanda vakyas of do this, do that, buy this, means. The means and end is totally removed. First step. Second, the mind starts abiding or orienting towards the Atma Tattvam. That means what? You will come again and again to Vedanta class. I have this doubt. I need to understand. How to understand Atma. So you will go on investigating by discrimination, viveka, vairagyam, Shamadhi Shatka Sampattihi, Mumukshutvam, you will get those qualities and start focusing on Atman. Second step. Third step, you will remove all your doubts. So from Shravana, you will get the knowledge. From Manana, you will remove all the doubts. Third step. Fourth step, you will remove even the Viparita Bhavana, which is innate nature that is there. Your natural instinct to say that I am not Brahman. That also will be removed. And I'll tell you that a beautiful Vedanta has got excellent ways to explain this. Vedanta is the most practical, logical, factual science you can ever get. It can answer all your questions beyond doubt. Okay. So that is without any error free. So doubtless, errorless, that is the fourth stage. Then what? Tada, then only, yada tada, avapsyasi, you will attain. Madhyama Purusha, he says, Bhagavan says to Arjuna, you will attain what? Yogam. Yogam means what? Paramartha yogam, jnanam, moksham you will attain. So this is the path that Bhagavan says our karma yogi becomes a jnana yogi. Clear? So now, today we need to skip the speaker. We'll keep it tomorrow. And one thing I want to point out. Next section, what we are starting here is called StithaPragna Lakshana. This is where we left the Bhagavad Gita global class. Correct? So the call is for all the people who are now absenting till now can come back, because we continuing from the where we left last time. And the beauty here is, whatever Bhagavan is going to talk about, the glory or the nature of StithaPragna is the same as the quality, is the hallmark of what? Morning class, Saturday, Sunday morning. Parabhakta Lakshana, write down. StithaPragna is equal to Parabhakta is equal to Gunatita. Write down all the three at the same line. StithaPragna is equal to Parabhakta is equal to Gunatita. So when you do parallel study, don't say, sir, I'll come only for this class, sir. Already it is told in that class. It will be very different. What Bhagavan says here is a different orientation. Bhagavan says some different orientation. You combine both, then only full knowledge will come. Let us start the sloka. Now, after all these things, Arjuna got very excited. So far, Arjuna was silent. Oh, you will get a state of mind which is pure, very calm, peaceful. So I want to know, who is this person? How will that person be? Arjuna Vacha StithaPragnasya ka bhasha samadhisthasya keshava Stitadhi kim prabhasheta kimasita brajeta kim.
Arjuna Vacha StithaPragnasya ka bhasha samadhisthasya keshava Stitadhi kim prabhasheta kimasita vrajeta kim.
Together, 2 minutes more, we'll finish the class. Arjuna Vacha StithaPragnasya ka bhasha samadhisthasya keshava Stitadhi kim prabhasheta kimasita brajeta kim. So Arjuna got very excited. He also should show that he is listening to Bhagavan. So he wants to put a question to Bhagavan and say, hey Bhagavan, you are saying somebody can reach this state. Is it really possible for somebody to exist in the state of absolute peace of mind, seemingly active in the world, but always peaceful? Is it possible? So he says, Arjuna asks Krishna, hey Krishna, can you please describe to me? So he wants description. What is the description of the jnani, or the wise man, who is established in the Atman? You said, no, the person will be established in Atman. Sthasyati. Don't know. Who is established? What is the description of this person? And so Arjuna thought, this person will walk upside down, will walk in the air, will have a different clothing, will look differently. That's what he was thinking, like all of us. Correct? Will not be a normal human being. Please understand, jnani is as normal as an ajnani externally. Don't think jnani will suddenly have some 4 eyes or 4 ears. Jnani also will have 2 eyes. Jnani also will have 2 ears. Jnani also may drink coffee. He will also have puliyogare, he will have chapati, he will have all these things. So don't think that jnani is something different. Now, Usmaraman sir, jnanam doesn't mean that that external things change. So Arjuna was thinking externally the person will change. So he says, how does the wise man speak? The person's speech change. How does he sit? So you will say, will he sit in the air without touching the ground? How does he sit? That means Arjuna's knowledge of a jnani is like our knowledge of jnani. So he says, how does he sit? How does he walk? Question, how does a jnani walk? So how does a jnani speak? How does a jnani sit? How does a jnani walk? These are his questions. So let's look at the Padavyaga Anvaya and I will close 54. Arjuna uvacha StithaPragnasya ka bhasha samadhisthasya he Keshava sambodhana Stitadhihi kim prabhasheta kim asita vrajeta kim. Anmaya. Arjuna uvacha he Keshava ka bhasha StithaPragnasya samadhisthasya kim So write pairs. Ka bhasha StithaPrajnasya samadhistasya kim Sthitadhihi prabhasheta kim asita kim vrajeta. Kachida, you all got it? Anvaya is over. Kalam says I'll go further. I'll give you the meaning. Clear? You should say yes. Should I repeat it again? Repeat. Okay, repeat. Okay. Arjunaha uvacha Keshava, hey Keshava, ka bhasha StithaPrajnasya samadhisthasya kim sthitadhihi. See, sthitadhihi, the first word in the second line. Sthitadhihi prabhasheta kim asita kim vrajeta. Clear, na? No, is it okay? I've done twice. I will go back to the recording and listen again. Arjunaha uvacha. Arjuna asked, said or asked. What did he say? Now, please underline. No, so systematic study now. Arjuna has manufactured some terms, like the modern manufacturers. No, they do something new. No, Arjuna manufactures some terms. See, Bhagavan told Samadhau, right? In Atman. Oh, our friend is adding some words like StithaPragna. StithaPragna is a word invented by Arjuna. Should give credit for us first Arjuna for this word. StithaPragna, he says. Then he uses another word called Samadhistha. Write down. The same person, Arjuna, is using his intellect and giving three different definitions. He says StithaPragna, Samadhistha, Sthitadhihi. So three definitions Arjuna is using for a Gnani that Bhagavan told Samadhau, Achala Buddhihi, that he told no. So that person, Arjuna, is giving three names. So this is Shastra Panditam he wants to show. What is a StithaPragna? Write down. StithaPragna, 1, 2, 3, 4 definition. Pragna, then StithaPragna, first Gnya. StithaPragna, there are three parts. Write down. Who wants to write down properly? Lalita was there. Write down. Okay. First is called Gnya. Second stage called Pragna. Third stage called StithaPragna. Due to the Sandhi rule becomes StithaPragna. StithaPragna becomes StithaPragna. Can somebody write now? 1, 2, 3. One is Gnya. Second is what? Pragna. Third is StithaPragna, StithaPragna. Gnya means what? Jnanati iti Gnya. Jnanati. The person has overcome Gnana Anavabodham. The first stage, what I told. By Shravana, the person has undergone the knowledge. He understands the Atman. Basically, he knows what is Atman. So the first stage is removed. First doubt is removed. Then Pragna. Prakarshena Janati iti Pragna. Means what? Lot of clarity is there. So Samshaya Buddhi is removed. Doubtful knowledge is removed. Then StithaPragna. That means what? Viparyaya, Viparita Buddhi is also removed. So the person becomes StithaPragna. What is that? Moon level. Can somebody write down? Gnya, Pragna, StithaPragna. So Arjuna is asking, hey Keshava, this StithaPrajnasya of the wise man, of the knowledgeable man, Manishinaha, of a Parabhakta, of a Gunatita, of a Gnani, Ka Bhasha. What is the description? Bhasha doesn't mean language. நம்ம சொல்றோமே தமிழ்ல நட உட பாவனைன்னு சொல்றோம் இல்லையா? நட உட பாவனை அதுதான் சேர்ந்துதான் இது வருது. பாஷான்றதுதான். Ka bhasha. What is the description of this person? How do you describe? How can you describe? Please describe to me as StithaPragna is what Arjuna. First thing. What is the description? Second, he used another word. Samadhistasya. Person is established in samadhi. That means what? Concentrate always at the back of the mind. He knows, he or she knows that I am Atman. It's called Samadhistha. Samadhi means Atman. Samadhi stha means what? Established in Atman. Uday, I'm going very fast here, but you have to go back and listen to meaning now, recording. Samadhistha means the person is established in Atman. Samadhistasya, of the person who is established in Atman. Samadhistasya, what? Kim? How does a person who is established in the Atman, who is also called as the Sthitadhi. Sthitadhi means what? The person is what? He means what? Knowledge, wisdom, StithaPragna, firmly established in knowledge. So three definitions Arjuna is giving. StithaPragna, Samadhistha, StithaPragna. So how does this wise man who is established in Atman speak? Prabhasheta. Bhasheta, prakarshena bhasheta, prabhasheta. How does he sit? Kim asita. Is in asanam samarpayami. Solring ilya, puliyar puja pandacha. Na, asanam na seat. Asita means how does he sit? So how does he sit? Kim rajeta. How does he walk? So what are the questions? Now write down. Arjuna is asking for explanations for the Brahmagnani, Atmagnani. Please describe to me a Brahmagnani. Please describe to me how he speaks. Please describe to me how he sits. Please describe to me how he walks. And he calls this person by three definitions. What are the three definitions? He calls them StithaPragna. He calls them what? Samadhistha. He calls the person StithaPragna. Overload right though. Na, Ramesh Venkateshan. Overload weekend. Na revision pannalama. So this is the question. So what Bhagavan is going to say? Is Bhagavan going to say that this person will come with jeans pant and t-shirt? Bhagavan going to say that he's coming in four-piece suit? Bhagavan going to say that he's going to be always walking in the air? He'll walk on water? He's going to say that? We will get what Bhagavan is saying the next Thursday morning class. What they say? They'll show what is going to come. They'll show that you get interested. So we also show next. Todarum, we continue in the next episode. The wonderful portion of StithaPragna. All of you should commit to memory all the shlokas of StithaPragna and all the shlokas of Parabhakta. If you by heart, slowly you start imbibing those qualities. A small announcement, as I've been saying, we have finalized the date for visit to Chaturmasya Seva in Kakinada on 7th, 8th and 9th of August. Please write down. Indumati madam. 7th, 8th, 9th. Whoever has not contributed, please contribute, because it's very, very auspicious to contribute in Chaturmasya Seva. Very rarely you get the opportunity. You don't need to move from your home. You do the contribution, we'll take it and submit to Pariva. Contribute liberally. And anybody who wants to join, please fill up the form. There is a form that we have sent. In that you say yes in the last column. If you want to join, then we can give directions how to join. So 7th evening, we'll probably reach there. 8th and 9th darshan. So 9th evening, we'll try to come back. So that is the plan. There are at least 4 or 5 people who have signed up right now. Let's see how many more sign up for the visit. Very nice. Very nice to have Chaturmasya, darshan and seva to any sampradaya acharya. That is actually our duty. Other thing than this during Chaturmasya. And second important thing, during Chaturmasya, these 2 months, Vedanta Shastravannu ಎಷ್ಟರ ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಓದಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತೋ ಅಷ್ಟರ ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಓದ್ತಾ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಈ ಸಮಯ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಇಟ್ಟಿರುವುದು. ಅದರಿಂದ people have to study Gita, Upanishads and all those things. So we are doing attend all the 4 classes. That is the best thing you can do. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om Tat Sat. Krishna 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 Shubhamastu Samasta Sanmangalani Bhum Satyayeta. Hari Om. So we'll meet tomorrow morning to get a glimpse of Parabhakta and then come back again later. Narayana Narayana.